Hello guys, in Laravel you probably have heard of the term fat controller, and here's an example: purchase controller with process method with quite a long method and logic inside. And this comes from one of my previous videos recently published on YouTube here about vending machines API project step by step, and I will link that video in the description below if you haven't watched that. And I received a few comments, rightfully so, pointing that out, the fat controller. Why did I do that? So here are 3 comments on the screen basically about the same thing. Controller gets too fat, why not use service class, and maybe use service or repository structure. And in this video, this will be a follow-up where I will show you 2 ways how I would potentially refactor that fat controller into action class or service class with unit tests. But first I want to kind of defend myself why I chose this fat controller approach. In this case, it's a controller with one method. It could be also invocable controller with invoke method, so-called single action controller. And in that case, sometimes I do like that approach all in one class because it's just one method, kind of like a job in a controller. It's similar to the approach of Livewire Vault or other approaches where it's all in one file, so it would be easier to understand what is happening without moving to other files or searching for some code somewhere else. You may agree or disagree, this is debatable, but what I don't like in fat controller approach, if there are multiple methods, like a CRUD controller or resource controller with methods like index, create, store, and others, with all of them having a lot of code inside, where the whole controller is fat. In this case, controller with one method, that fat approach isn't that bad in my opinion. So in real production project, this was just a demo project, but in real production project, I would probably stick to this approach anyway. But if you want to refactor to something and move the logic away, let's try to show that. So the first approach is action class, basically moving most of the controller away into an action class that would be type hinted into the controller method. So the goal is to shorten the controller. As you can see, it fits on one screen now. And from here, we just validate the data with form request, maybe some small transformations like this, and call execute from that action class. Now, what's inside the execute? You may do it in 2 ways. Basically, first way would be just copy paste everything from the controller, but another step further would be to divide that action class into smaller methods tackling different things like validating this and that, and then process transaction. And all of those are methods, private methods inside of that action class. So the thought is that action class doesn't have to be one long method. But if you compare it step by step, it's mostly the same code, just divided into private methods for better readability, for single responsibility principle. So for anyone who wants just the overview of what that does, the execute method is enough to understand all of that. But if you want to go deeper, you go into those methods. Now, the action pattern like this became quite popular in Laravel community in recent years or even months, so a few tweets to showcase that. James Brooks from Laravel core team tweeted that they adopted the action pattern in Laravel Forge and pretty happy with that. And also Nunu Maduru explained the action pattern on Laravel Cloud. And I will link that video in the description below, and you can listen to his interview talk with Jeffrey Way, in this case talking about actions. And if we get back to the code, I do like that action approach as well, because it was, well, one action in the controller. But in this particular example, that action should return the array of successful transaction and some more data, which is then passed as a result in JSON. And this is kind of against the approach of action. Action is kind of like a job that doesn't expect the result to be returned. In most cases at least, or at least in my understanding. So maybe a better approach, if you have a method to transform the data and then return the result, would be a service class, again with one main method and then more private methods inside. So let's take a look at that approach. So if instead of action we use service, it would look something like this. Process and then purchase service, process purchase. And in this case, purchase service is injected in constructor with the idea, this is more like theoretical idea than practical in this particular example, that service would be reused in multiple methods of the same controller, which is most likely the case in more projects where you would use services. In this particular case, probably it would be more appropriate to do it like this. So purchase service without constructor, similar to how we did with action class, like this. And now let's take a look what inside of that process purchase of service class. To be honest, it's not that different from action, with one slight difference that maybe you have noticed or maybe you haven't. All those methods, smaller methods, are public. And this is one of the important points. If the method is public, then it can be called separately without calling the main process purchase. And then those methods become unit testable. So in this project, if I run PHP artisan test, there's a feature test for a specific artisan command, which is not that relevant, then purchase controller test, which is a feature test, testing different cases of purchasing something was missing or something was insufficient or successful purchase. But on top of that, we have unit test, testing specifically that service class and various methods, whether they throw exception or not. So this is the purchase controller test, feature test, where we call that controller by URL, so post API purchase with different parameters and then asserting that something was okay or not okay. And then this is purchase service test, a class with functions which call purchase service methods. So is that card valid or not? And then we assert equals of the results. Or we assert that certain exception class was fired. So a few methods about card being invalid, then separate method of the service class to validate the employee, and the result of that service class is either employee model or exception. And by the way, if you don't know the difference between feature tests and unit tests, in my Laravel daily course, Testing for Beginners, one of the lessons is feature versus unit tests, the difference. I will link that course in the description below if you want to take a look into automated tests from the beginning with fundamentals. So yeah, with those two approaches with actions and services, I wanted to demonstrate how to refactor from controller to somewhere, anywhere basically, a separate class. So that's kind of goal number one. And goal number two, if you want to go deeper and have more time, then you may separate those small actions for different validations into smaller units and then apply unit tests to those. Or of course you can do something in between and separate just one important method into a public method that needs to be validated, because if it doesn't work then you may have financial consequences or something like that. There are a lot of gray areas in between depending on your project. Also, I want to mention another course that I have, one of the most popular on Laravel Daily, how to structure Laravel projects, where I talk not only about service versus action, this is a separate lesson, but also events, listeners, traits, observers, and more stuff. This is a pretty short course, again, about fundamentals. And also, I'm planning to shoot another video refactoring the same project based on another comment by Dev Hammett here, experimenting with validation and using form request class as the main validation logic for all those methods, including locking the data, because there are quite a few database operations in that validation. So I experimented with code provided by Dev Hammett. I'm really grateful for that long comment, and in the next video I will show you the result of that refactoring. Meanwhile, what do you think about this action and service and unit tests? Let's discuss in the comments below. And if you want the full source code of all those refactorings, it's on GitHub with 4 branches, but it's not a public repository. It's available for Laravel Daily Premium members in the section of project examples. You can get invitation to that GitHub if you purchase Laravel Daily Premium membership. This is how I'm trying to strike the balance between free content, so I explain a lot of things on YouTube, but if you want to dive deeper with the source code, I'm trying to get paid for that time spent on this project. I hope you understand, guys. That's it for this time, and see you guys in other videos.